The emperor's name echoes through history, synonymous with unimaginable cruelty and the decimation of half the world's population. His reign, a tempest of bloodshed and terror, left an indelible scar on civilization, forever altering the course of human history. Even centuries later, his motives remain shrouded in darkness, a chilling reminder of the potential for human evil. This essay delves into the emperor's bloody reign, exploring the events leading up to the mass extermination that defined his rule. We will analyze the emperor's personality, his rise to power, and the socio-political climate that allowed such atrocities to occur. By understanding the past, we can hopefully prevent similar tragedies from unfolding in the future. The emperor's story is not just a historical curiosity, it is a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked power and the fragility of peace. Let us journey back in time to a period marked by both dazzling advancements and unspeakable horrors, and confront the legacy of the emperor who wiped out half of humanity. The emperor was not born into power. He seized it, his ascent fueled by ambition, ruthlessness, and a cunning intellect. Born into a world teetering on the brink of chaos, he quickly mastered the art of manipulation and military strategy. He rose through the ranks of a fractured empire, exploiting existing divisions and leveraging his charisma to gain followers. His early victories, though strategically brilliant, were marked by a disturbing brutality that hinted at the horrors to come. His enemies, often caught off guard by his ruthlessness, underestimated him at their peril. With each victory, his power grew, along with his conviction that he alone held the key to unifying a fractured world. However, his vision of unity would come at a terrible, unimaginable cost. The emperor, even in his youth, possessed a chillingly clear vision for the world. He believed in a single unified empire, purged of what he perceived as weakness and division. His ideology, a toxic blend of utopian ideals and ruthless pragmatism, painted a future where peace could only be achieved through absolute control. He saw humanity as flawed, easily swayed by petty squabbles and self-interest. He believed that only through force, through the elimination of dissent and the imposition of his will, could true order be established. This dangerous ideology, coupled with his growing power and influence, set the stage for the horrors to come. The emperor's vision, though cloaked in the language of unity and progress, would pave the path to unimaginable suffering. The emperor inherited a realm rife with internal conflict. Decades of mismanagement and corruption had left the empire vulnerable, a patchwork of feuding factions and simmering resentments. This instability, however, played perfectly into the emperor's hands. He expertly exploited these divisions, turning rival factions against each other and consolidating his own power in the process. He presented himself as the only one capable of restoring order, a savior who could unite a fractured world. His propaganda machine was relentless, painting him as a unifier, a bringer of peace. Yet beneath the veneer of order and stability lurked a terrifying truth. The emperor's vision of unity demanded absolute obedience, a demand he was willing to enforce through any means necessary. The emperor's consolidation of power began subtly, with whispers of conspiracies and threats, real or imagined. He created an atmosphere of fear and paranoia, turning neighbor against neighbor, sowing seeds of distrust that would soon blossom into outright terror. His first targets were those who dared to question his authority: political rivals, influential nobles, and anyone suspected of disloyalty. Secret police operating under his direct command carried out swift and brutal purges, silencing dissent and instilling fear in the hearts of the populace. These early acts of violence, though shocking, were merely a prelude to the horrors that awaited. The emperor was testing the waters, gauging the level of resistance he might face as he prepared to unleash his ultimate plan upon the world. With his grip on power secure, the emperor unleashed his most terrifying plan, a systematic extermination campaign designed to eliminate anyone deemed a threat to his vision of a unified world. This was not war as it had been known, this was cold, calculated genocide. Entire cities were razed, their populations slaughtered without mercy. Millions perished in the blink of an eye, their cries for mercy drowned out by the clash of steel and the roar of flames. The emperor's armies, fanatically loyal and utterly ruthless, swept across the land, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The world watched in horror as the emperor, his face a mask of cold resolve, oversaw the annihilation of half of humanity. In the aftermath of the Great Culling, the emperor attempted to justify his actions, claiming that such drastic measures were necessary to bring about lasting peace. He argued that the world, consumed by conflict and division, had been on the brink of self-destruction. He positioned himself as the savior of humanity, claiming that his actions, however horrific, had prevented a far greater catastrophe. He argued that the price, though unimaginable, was a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. His words, however, rang hollow in the face of such immeasurable suffering. The world, forever scarred by his actions, struggled to comprehend the depths of his cruelty. The emperor's reign stood as a chilling testament to the dangers of unchecked power and the seductive allure of utopian ideals. Section 8. Life under a tyrant, fear and obedience. In the wake of the Great Culling, the emperor ruled with an iron fist. Fear became the primary instrument of control as citizens lived in constant dread of a wrong word, a misplaced glance, or even a whisper of dissent. The emperor established a vast surveillance network, his spies and informants lurking in every shadow. The slightest hint of rebellion was met with swift and brutal retribution. The emperor, obsessed with maintaining order, imposed strict regulations on every aspect of life, from speech and religion to art and literature. His regime sought to control not just the actions, but also the very thoughts of its subjects, creating a suffocating atmosphere of conformity and fear. Section 9. Legacy of Ashes, a world remade. The emperor's reign cast a long shadow over history. The world, forever altered by his actions, struggled to rebuild from the ashes. The Great Culling left an indelible scar on the collective memory of humanity, a chilling reminder of the potential for human evil. The emperor's empire, built on a foundation of blood and bone, eventually crumbled, consumed by its own internal contradictions. However, the scars of his reign lingered, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. The emperor's legacy is a complex and troubling one. He was a ruthless tyrant responsible for unimaginable suffering, yet he also left behind a world unified as never before. His story serves as a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked power and the seductiveness of utopian ideals. Section 10. Judging history, the emperor's place in time. How do we judge a figure like the emperor, someone responsible for both great evil and undeniable achievements? History offers no easy answers. His legacy is a tapestry woven from threads of darkness and light, a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature. Some historians argue that the emperor's actions, though morally reprehensible, were necessary to prevent further chaos and bloodshed. They point to the stability and prosperity that followed the Great Culling as evidence of his twisted brilliance. Others condemn him as a monster, a tyrant driven by megalomania and a lust for power. They argue that the price of his so-called peace was far too high, a debt that could never be repaid. Ultimately, the emperor's place in history remains a subject of intense debate, a testament to the enduring power of his story. Section 11. Echoes of the Past, Lessons for Humanity. The emperor's story, though set in a distant past, holds profound lessons for us today. It is a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power, the seductive allure of utopian ideals, and the fragility of peace. It teaches us that even the most well-intentioned leaders can succumb to the temptations of power, and that even the most horrific atrocities can be justified in the name of the greater good. The emperor's legacy serves as a stark warning, urging us to be vigilant in safeguarding our freedoms, to challenge those in power, and to never forget the lessons of history. Only by confronting the darkness of the past can we hope to build a brighter future.
What is the name of this emperor, you say? He is no other than Genghis Khan. Born between 1155 and 1167, Genghis Khan remains a controversial figure. He was generous and intensely loyal to his followers, but ruthless towards his enemies. Viewers, we have to be happy that he was not in our time. Well, please, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Cheers!